Gary Klein. Well, man, I don't know. Let's play now. I don't have anything that I think he would. Well, you were talking about Dynamite. This is a song we wrote together about the hometown that I have called Louviers, Colorado. I've been thinking a lot about other things to tell people about Louviers because, you know, after you get through the part where it's a village, it's not a town, it's not big enough to be a town. Also, you have to have some sort of localized government to have a town. Otherwise, you're just an unincorporated piece of land. And the thing about Louviers is that after DuPont left, everybody who was still in this town was actively trying to get away from the government of all the things. And so it could never be anything more than a village. We had some guy who raised wolves, like literally raised wolves, and he had a town hairdresser. She knew everybody's business even more so than, like, you know, everybody else knew everybody's business. Although technically she was in Kellytown, because while we were a village, we had like an adjunct 2 streets that were a whole different thing. It was also not a town, despite its name. Anyway, it was the home of the DuPont Dynamite Factory, and this is a song we wrote about it. Freight train running up to Santa Fe. Took the TNT and blew the mountains away. Drum Creek flooded back in '65. We took it on the chin, but the plant survived. My dad worked the line like his dad did before. Folks ain't rich, but they ain't quite poor. Closed the factory in '71. They said thanks and best wishes, your work here's done. Initiate, detonate, blow it up and walk away. It's easy, just cut and run. Away from all this damage that's been done. And I got dynamite in my blood. I got dynamite in my blood. Folks in California try to buy up the land. Dad won't sell, he's a prideful man. Every time I ask if he's gonna leave, he said, son, this is where you're gonna bury me. Can't see living in a dying town. It's like I left my soul at the lost and found. Every night I say that tomorrow's the day. Initiate, detonate, blow it up and walk away. Initiate, detonate, blow it up and walk away. It's easier, just cut and run. I'm my mother's only son. I got dynamite in my blood. I got dynamite in my blood. It's easier, just cut and run. Hands been dealt, this game can't be won. I got dynamite in my blood. 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 Thank you.
We wrote that on a night not unlike this day.
Yeah, the whole reason we actually finished that song is he has a songwriting shed in his backyard, and we went back there with I think brownies. Lindsay made some brownies, and we were back there and we were butting heads for like
Normal brownies.
Yeah, like really good brownies, but not that type of brownie. We were back there and we butted heads for like 2 hours about what song to write. He had a couple ideas about like high top sneakers that I thought we should probably write that song at some point. But my face, I'm not good at hiding my facial expressions at all, and so my face said no. And I had some ideas, and he very politely and diplomatically said maybe we had a better idea somewhere. And it turned out we didn't actually know each other very well at all. Like, we'd kind of just met in passing. And so he was like, well, where are you from? Tell me, like, give me something to go on here so we're, like, become friends or whatever. And I told him about that town. And then it stopped raining.
Yeah. But man, it was really going there for... I don't know if we would have finished that song that night if it hadn't been for...
we wouldn't have.
The god of weather. Which Greek god controls the weather? Who knows? Come on, y'all. Zeus. Odin. Yeah, Odin, that's half my heritage. Oh, it would have been Odin. The other half, it was just Jehovah. Well, this one wasn't a song originally, but I figured out that it was after a short time. It's called What You Lose Along the Way. The things you say to people matter. They remember. You're the most normal person I know. He remembered I said that to him. It seemed to give him comfort. I did not remember saying that to him. It sounded like a thing I would say. Oh, but life is what you lose along the way. I had a friend who was a singer in a punk rock band. He was barely a friend, really, and when I knew him, he wasn't a singer in a punk rock band, but I think that's how he'd have liked to have been remembered. One time he and I and some other guys got high and watched Naked Lunch. I got paranoid. He was in my 8th grade homeroom. Miss Levine's homeroom. I think I saw his band once, and I think I thought they were okay. But life is what you lose along the way. I would say I miss those guys, but it'd be a lie. What I miss is being young. And I wish those guys had gotten up and gotten out of bed today. But life is what you lose along the way. Thank you.
Man. Never seen the northern lights. Never take my own advice. You know that I hate to be alone. So darling, when you're coming home, I've been listening to the sound of my heart banging in my head. Hold my breath, trying just to keep my head clear. Never could accept defeat. Never could find peaceful sleep. Pick up the pieces when the day is gone. Someday we'll all turn to dust. Never talk about your ghost. Burned me when I stood too close. Everything is made of mirror and smoke. Find what makes you hold the hope. I've been writing letters that I don't intend to send. Things we ignore are the ones that tend to kill us in the end. Never cared for cigarettes. I hold tight to my regrets. Truth, it seems, is stranger than a lie. Plastic flowers never die. Plastic flowers never die. Thank you.
Tell me about that song a little bit.
What about, I started it because I wanted to get invited back up to Alaska to see the Northern Lights, and then it kind of got dark on me.
Well, it has to be dark for you to see the Northern Lights. So.
See? Yeah. That's going to be on the new record coming out sometime early next year that we're working on.
That's special. Can I ask, just talking a little shop here, Where are you working with Justin these days? What studio is he working out of?
He is working out of Same Sky Productions most of the time, I think. And then he's got a vocal booth and all, kind of some tracking stuff at his house. Too.
Okay.
So he's all over the place, like glitter.
Is Same Sky kind of in our neck of the woods?
It is not. It's
not?
down on the east side.
Okay.
It's over off of east something and something.
Okay. East something and something.
Yeah. Very technical directions. We got to keep it a secret so that they got a swimming pool though.
At the studio?
Uh-huh.
See? Well, this one's for Joanna. I was but a cub reporter all those years ago, working at the Chronicle Observer. Lester Perkins was on trial, and the prosecutor said that Lester had killed his wife and her lover. Well, Lester was a lawyer, and he had an alibi. He said he'd been away at a conference of the bar. But the DA found a waitress. She worked just outside of town. She said she'd served him a cup of coffee the night the couple been struck down. Well, they say life is wasted on the living. They say true love never fades. A burnt up cup of better midnight coffee and a debt that'll never be repaid. The jury was instructed to carefully review every bit of evidence presented. They were out for 40 minutes. Yeah, that was all it took to send Lester away to San Quentin. The bailiff took him out. I must have caught his eye. He stared down at my brand new wedding band. The sound of the shackles, it haunts me to this day. He opened his mouth to speak, but the bailiff led him away. Well, they say life is wasted on the living. They say true love never fades. A burnt up cup of better midnight coffee and a debt that'll never be repaid. 36 years later, well, I got kids and they're all grown. Grandbabies are bouncing on my knee. And all this time, poor Lester, he's been sitting in his cell, getting old and reading law books in the penitentiary. Well, they say life is wasted on the living. They say true love never fades. A burnt up cup of better midnight coffee and a debt that'll never be repaid. Thank you.
I can
Nothing.
tell.
Sorry. She just said thank you, and I needed to say de nada, or you're welcome, or je vous en prie, or...
I can tell it's going to be my job to keep us from going way down into the dark, dark depths of all of the things. 'Cause it's good to visit, but like it's not good to spend 2 hours down there or more. So I wrote this song last year in like kind of when it started to seem like maybe we were going to get out of this pandemic thing, but like nothing had opened back up yet. But Barton Springs had sort of opened, and you could like go, but only on certain days and only if you had a reservation, and you had to like be really on top of things. And as much as I like to be on top of things, there were just a lot of days that it wasn't open. So we were figuring out that you could go to the other side, the free side of Barton Springs, the Barking Springs thing, and you could go swimming there just the same, and it was in some ways better, in some ways worse, because there's a lot of plant life that will tickle your toes. And after being down there for, 4 days a week for several weeks, we'd come to realize that everybody who jumped off the Barton Creek Bridge had survived. And so therefore we had to try it too. We got up to the top of the bridge, and there's signs everywhere that say like, don't jump off this bridge. And some of them are danger signs. But we had checked it out, down below before. We had discovered it was probably deep enough, and was probably not so high that we'd mess things up if we jumped awkwardly. What they don't tell you about jumping off of a bridge is that once you get to the top of the bridge, you have to come up on the railing. And then so you're automatically like 5 feet higher than you were when you were just on the bridge on your feet. And then you stand up, and now your eyes are another 5 feet higher. So now you're 10 feet higher than you thought you were going to be. But once you're up on top, it's too late to back down. Like, your pride just won't let you not jump. So we jumped, and it was great. Nobody died. Would not do it again. The stars are burning holes as they glimmer in the night. Watch one as it falls, hold your breath and make a wish. I should have kissed you when I wanted to. Hesitation in the moment wasn't right. Jump on in, the water's fine. Don't think about tomorrow, gotta stop looking for a sign. And sometimes being brave is not enough. There's beauty where you find it. It's the sound a secret makes when it's whispered in the dark. It's buzzing through the air like fireflies. We've been going through the motions, and still we're missing every mark. Jump on in, the water's fine. Don't think about tomorrow, gotta stop looking for a sign. And sometimes being brave is not enough. There's beauty where you find it. other home, got a broken compass, best intentions, but we're just skipping stones. So jump on in, the water's fine. Don't think about tomorrow, I know you will never be mine. Sometimes being brave is not enough. There's beauty where you find it. Look for the beauty where you find it. Thank you.
The rare, wild, hopeful song appears. Let's see. I think I'm going to play this one. It's called Such a Town. Back when I was a grown-up, I had an office with a view of Cambridge across the river and Dedham to the south, and Boston standing pat between the two. Like that Robert Francis poem about the hound. Well, my feelings about Boston are uncertain as of now. Such a town, such a town. Yeah, Fenway Park was crumbling and neglected, and they turned off the Citgo sign. Ray Flynn took down the Rainbow Coalition. That's the Boston I picture in my mind. No, not Crispus Attucks, not Paul Revere. No, it's kids throwing rocks at buses and a flag used as a spear. Such a town, such a town. Yeah, my folks split up in Boston. Boston cut me deep and made me bleed. I got married in Boston, and my kids were born in Boston just like me. The home of Justice Margaret Marshall and Bobby Orr, the plowing stars, the Burren, Doyles, and the Fours. Such a town, such a town. We'll take the red line from Park Street out to Harvard, the orange line from State to Forest Hills. One thing I know about Boston, if I play this song in Boston, it might just get me killed. Well, thank goodness Whitey Bulger is dead and gone. Here's to Kevin White, the Pixies, and Robert Gould Shaw. Such a town, such a town, such a town. Oh. Thank you. It occurred to me while I was singing that one of those kids was born today. I have two teenagers now. One of them just turned 13 today. Oh, you don't have to clap. Clap. It is. So is 17. Going on.
How old Zoe is?
Yes.
Oh,
She's going to be 17 in 2 weeks.
okay.
Yes.
Well, wish baby happy birthday for me.
I will.
Yeah. See her next after she comes back from the wildlands of IKEA.
That's right.
I wrote this song with my friend Aaron Smith. He was in town earlier this year. I don't remember. It all kind of runs together these days. What? Time means nothing. This is very accurate. It's a figment of our imagination. The song is sort of about things that are figments of your imagination, or things people wish were figments of your imagination. It's about being gaslit and holding your own boundaries when people won't respect them. Don't ask too many secrets, keep your secrets to yourself. You said you had the best intentions, knew it wasn't true. I believed 'cause I wanted to. Warped lens with a twisted perception. Warped lens with a twisted perception. It's a promise to be broken. It's a ship that's lost at sea. Head-on collision in slow motion. It's everything you took from me. A time for trust and a time for fear. A time to say farewell. I always knew we'd end up here. Tried to search your eyes for clues, nothing kept me there with you. The silence fear became a nightmare. The silence fear became a nightmare. It's a promise to be broken. It's a ship that's lost at sea. Head-on collision in slow motion. It's everything you took from me. You held on to these thorns in vain. The bleeding had to stop. Now it sounds strange when you say my name. You can say you never knew all the changes you put me through. But in the end, it's all the same. In the end, it's all the same. It's a promise to be broken. It's a ship that's lost at sea. Head-on collision in slow motion. It's everything you took from me. It's everything you took from me.
I love that song. I love Aaron Smith. Yeah, I met him. He was one of the first people I met when I moved here, which is interesting because he's not from here, but we were both here, and he has a record that's going to be coming out at some point in the near-ish future that's been done, I think, for a while, but it's a whole concept. And I think if you don't know him now, you will, because it's pretty unbelievable. Let's see here. I think we're going to do another round, and then we're going to take a little break. NIcole was on it with her merch on the back table. I'm less on it with my merch, in part because I'm sold out of my most recent record.
Gee darn.
Yeah. But I do have some vinyl, some 45s. And why not, in the interest of being a professional, why don't I play you the A side of that little vinyl record? And then maybe if I can put one and one together after I play the song and after NIcole plays the song, I will take a couple back to the merch area. I think most of the people here have at least one copy, and some of you have two. This is called Does the Fish Feel the Knife? Does the fish feel the knife? That's what she asked me, and I did not know how I should respond. She asked me again, said, Daddy, did you hear me? And the answer that I gave would get it wrong. Yeah, most things seem kind of simple until you poke at 'em even just a little. Does the fish feel the knife? What happens when we die? Is it kind of like sleeping? Well, she asked me this, and I was at a loss. Driving home from a wake early in the evening, I'd seen her staring up at Jesus on the cross. And you can't say no one knows, not to a girl who's 4 years old. Does the fish feel the knife? You need a license to drive a car, to shoot a buck, to cut a man's hair. Anyone can have a kid. Send you home, good luck, take care. Does the fish feel the knife? Daddy, who's that man? Why's he always on the corner? She asked me as we sat there at the light. A cardboard sign, spare a dime or a quarter. Man, there's so much in this world that just ain't right. We let folks slip through the cracks. No, I wasn't gonna tell her that. Now, does the fish feel the knife? You need a license to drive a car, to shoot a buck, to cut a man's hair. Anyone can have a kid. I send you home, good luck, take care. Does the fish feel the knife? 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 Well, thank you. And NIcole, thank you for doing this with me ever, but thank you especially today in the midst of a complicated time in our nation's history.
Is there ever an uncomplicated time in our nation's history?
Well, we're not allowed to talk about that apparently anymore.
I put out a record last year in the middle of all this, and it's on cassette tape because, I don't know, that made sense. They're very indestructible. These cassette tapes also sparkle because I'm me and, well, you know, that's how it is. It's a mixtape of 5 songs. The record's called Dance Songs for the Apocalypse. But I swear I didn't know. It just happened that way. This is one of those songs off that record, and I don't know, if you're watching at home with your kids, maybe cover their ears for a second. Sometimes in the morning I'm petrified and can't move. Awake, cannot open my eyes. The weight is crushing down on my lungs. I know I can't breathe. And I hope someone will save me this time. Your mother's still calling you insane and high, swearing that it's different this time. So tell her to give in to the demons that possess her, that God never blessed her inside. You hang up the phone and feel badly for upsetting things, and crawl back into bed to dream of a time when your heart was open wide and you loved things just because, like the sick and the dying. Sometimes when you're on, you're really fucking on, and your friends, they sing along and they love you. The lows so extreme that the good seems fucking cheap. It teases you for weeks in its absence, but you'll fight it and you'll make it through. You'll fake it if you have to. Show up for work with a smile. You'll be better and you'll be smarter, more grown up and a better daughter, a son and a real good friend. You'll be awake, you'll be alert, you'll be positive though it hurts. Laugh and embrace all your friends. You'll be a real good listener. You'll be honest and you'll be brave. You'll be handsome and you'll be beautiful. You'll be happy. Ship may be coming in. You're weak but not giving in to the cries and the waves, the valley below. Your ship may be coming in. You're weak but not giving in. You'll fight it, you'll go out fighting all of them. Thank you.
All right, little break, and then we'll be back.